Hello, thanks for joining me. So I wanted to get a shot of my Christmas tree because I love it so much. So I've tried to make this Christmassy. I'm trying to get my whole camera, my whole tree in. Tripod just broke and the leg is literally balancing. So this is kind of stupid really because the whole thing is going to probably fall down. It's quite tall, but I love my tree. It takes me forever to decorate. Let me see if this leg is not going to just drop off. I think we've done it. So today I wanted to do a perfume video based on all my favourites from each brand. I've seen a few people do this and I quite enjoy this style of video, so I thought I'd give it a go. I'm selecting all the brands that I have at least 3 or more from. I'm not sure how many brands I'm going to be featuring. I think it's around about 7-ish, but I'm just getting them as I go. They're upstairs. I didn't want to carry everything down here and then risk dropping anything. At the moment I've got 3 ready to film and we're going to start with those ones. And they're still in the kitchen. Let me go get them. So before we get stuck in, I haven't really done much of an intro here, have I? I think the reason I've enjoyed watching people do these videos is because when you've got more than, say, 3 from one brand, I think it shows a testament to the fact that you do appreciate the way the brand makes a fragrance. Maybe there's a similar DNA running through them. Maybe it's just the way they perform. It's the personality or just the way they have an air about them. I guess the way they're doing something right and that they are working for you. And to have a favourite out of more than 3 from one brand is, I think it's just interesting. It's an interesting little exercise. I'm going to start with Parfums de Marly here. I've got 5 from Parfums de Marly. I'm not feeling 100%. I've had a rotten cold for nearly a month now and a horrible cough. So I'm a bit fuzzy. Sorry in advance for any weird rambling. Let's hope there's some structure here and it all makes sense. Let's start with the obvious. Delina, this is the original Delina. I still think it's very pretty. I still think it's a beautiful perfume. I'm very familiar with it. I'm very familiar with people talking about it and how popular it is. It's a fluffy, velvety, kind of plush, rose, peony and fruity, shampoo-y kind of a smell, but a little bit better than just a shampoo because it does have that very slight powdery, velvety prettiness and it's very wedding-y. I always think it's wedding-y. It has a fluffy, luxury, almost luxury hand cream, but fluffy feel about it. I still think it's beautiful, but I very rarely fancy it because I'm very over familiar and I'm a bit too used to it. Atelier is one that I think I probably wear the most. It's the least, I would say, occasional. It's very easy for me to wear. It's this sort of soft, slightly vintage iris. It has that dried sort of doll's head, plasticky doll's head thing going on. It reminds me of Le Bleu from Guerlain. It has that feel about it. But it's easy and airy and it reminds me of the rain. It's been my rainy day scent for a long time, that one. I have Meliora, which is and I've had it a long time, so you can see I've not really worn it that much. I do think of it as more of a special family day kind of a scent. There's something about it that I associate with maybe seeing family. It's quite an easy wear. It's a very pretty bramble berry floral vanilla. Has that sort of creamy hand lotion feel. Yeah, a pretty creamy hand lotion with rose, jasmine, and you definitely get the blackberry, blackcurrant. You get that from freshness. So it's very pretty. I don't think of it enough though. And then I also have the beautiful Eau Jeanne. This is more of a gourmand. This is sort of gets compared to Angel's Share quite a lot because it has that cinnamon, that boozy cinnamon apple pie thing going on. Although it's not really boozy. This is more the apple pie. This is actually more of an apple strudel. And there's no apple listed, but the way the cinnamon bounces off of other notes and honey, I think there's honey in here, it gives me apple pie vibes and it is really beautiful. And I actually like layering this with Angel's Share. It gives it more, just a bigger punch of scent because they're quite similar. That's a Christmassy winter fun gourmand I'd wear if I'm going visiting, and I always get compliments when I wear that one, but I do love it. And then my 5th one this is Altair. I'm obsessed with this little bottle. I just love it. And it's the colour of a pumpkin. It's an October vanilla because I bought it last year in October. So it reminds me of that time of pumpkins and everything associated with the month. And it has a gourmand element, praline, vanilla and orange blossom. I get a lot of that really lovely, creamy, almost caramelly, vanilla-y praline. It's a really nice element to this. What makes it slightly polarising, I think, is there's a musk and orange blossom, which smells a little bit burnt, just like a burnt, weird orange blossom thing going on. It's quite dense and a bit honeyed. It's like a dense smell. And the opening is a little bit heavy, but I love the dry down. The vanilla is absolutely so addictive. And I think of it as a pumpkin pie scent without it actually smelling like pumpkin pie. It's all association, but it's fun, it's playful, and I always enjoy wearing this one. So which is my personal favourite, which I think is the best for me. The way I'm going to pick a favourite, it's not based on a theme in terms of what's been worn the most and not necessarily what I think is the best scent. It's going to be what I'm most fond of, and it could be for any reason. I think on this occasion, I'm most fond of Atelier. I think of it the most. I think it suits me most days, and I think I would miss it the most if I didn't have it. I'm very fond of this scent, so I have to say I think Atelier is actually my favourite, which does surprise me really, because I think it was Delina and Meliora that I had for the longest time and thought of as my real posh, bougie, exciting, when am I going to wear those scents? But I don't think of them and I don't wear them that much. They sit there looking pretty in my cabinet. And these two are fun, gourmand sort of scents that are occasional for the specific month I wear them. I think Delina probably is still up there, so it'd be my second favourite in terms of fondness and occasion and what I would feel really pretty wearing. So that's my second favourite. I feel guilty for Meliora because it's such a special, pretty little scent, but I just don't think of it. There you go, my favourite from Parfums de Marly at this moment in time is Atelier. So the next brand I want to talk about is Atelier des Ors, because I have collected another one recently. So I now have 3. One thing I will say is that I very rarely am rehearsed on notes. I just don't rehearse notes. I should do really, because I know it's helpful, but I just tell you what I smell. So let's start with the first one I ever had, and the one I do love an awful lot, and that's Iris Fave. And I really do love this scent. It's so special. I know it's not a favourite to everybody. Most people do love the Lune Feline, which is understandable because it is beautiful. I just felt connected to this as soon as I smelled it. There's something slightly old school about it, something a bit, maybe a bit mature even. It has a sort of golden charm. But to me, this is the scent, this is my Christmas Day scent without fail. That means it doesn't get worn very often. That then is me liberally spraying it for every Christmas Day for the last 3 years. And maybe a few extra cheeky sprays here and there. It reminds me of something very plush and opulent, but Victorian, a Victorian Christmas Day, like pre-baked Christmas pudding. The way the iris is in here, it's quite rooty and buttery, and you've got that beautiful myrrh, which again brings this sort of opulent golden feel. I think there might even be benzoin in here. I'm getting something that would smell like a woody vanillic balm, resiny, almost balsamic, that balmy sort of feel. But it's so smooth and opulent. You've got a little twinkling of spice just to give it a lift, and some fun element. It's special. It's a very special one. So that's Iris Fave. Now, another one I bought this year is Pink Me Up, because I didn't really love this when I first smelled it. I thought it was kind of simple. It reminded me actually of Meliora a little bit. And it had a quality that I wasn't sure about. So Pink Me Up is a champagne. I think it's meant to represent like a champagne, almost like a Cœur Royal. So a Cœur Royal being either a Prosecco or champagne with a big dash of creme de cassis in there. I think there's rose, there's blackberries in here, and you've got this champagne accord. I find the champagne smell a little bit dry and a little bit synthetic. Yeah, like an artificial sugar sort of a smell. But despite that, I've got over that sort of element, and I do enjoy the rosy berry, bright, fun element of this scent overall. Pretty enough, it's got a pretty element, it's got a fun, boozy element, and it's got that floral element, so it's quite a nice, balanced, easy wear. I think it is suitable for any occasion, any season. It's a good all-round, boozy, sweet, rosy berry scent, and I really do enjoy that. So, and there's quite a big dent there now, so I have been wearing it. It's very pretty. I got this actually as a partial on eBay, and there's something missing. The outer casing is missing here, which is why I got it cheap, but the lid is a bit dodged, so I've got a rubber band which kind of holds it. I won't do that now. But yeah, it was, you can see it's a bit shit. And then my third fragrance from Atelier des Ors is one of the newer releases. I've only tried one of the 2 that were recently launched, because it's the one that sounded most appealing to me. And he's not going to destroy my tree. He knows better than that. You right, Nim Nim? And the one that I bought was Coco Kimaya. So you don't have those lovely gold flakes to play with, not it matters, but I was a bit disappointed when I got it. I thought, oh yeah, it's black bottle, can't see through it. This was the last one I sampled out of a bunch of stuff. And when I got to this, it was like the heavens opened up. Instant love, and delicious. It was warm, it was appealing, it was, there was a fruity element, there was like a delicious chocolatey element, powdery, instant hit. I didn't spend full price on this. It's still a lot of money for what it is. This was not a partial, but they had sprayed it a couple of times. And I just jumped on this straight away. I smell a slightly smoky bar of dark chocolate, which is rum and raisin. I love rum raisin flavoured chocolate, surrounded in a very slightly smoky, very dark, almost bitter chocolate coffee. That's where Key wants to go. What's the matter? It's not lactonic in the slightest. It's crumbly and dark. Definitely dark, but sweet. I don't know where I'm getting this rum raisin thing from, but I love it. Something slightly smoky, but the dry down is where I'm just in heaven with this thing because it goes powdery. Almost like how a Guerlain would go. That lovely, finely milled, powdery, almost like velvet. It goes like that on me, and I love it. Coco Kimaya. So my favourite from Atelier d'Azores, I'm going to try and speed up a bit because this is already quite a long video and I'm only on the second brand. It's got to be Iris Fave. I've just got so much fondness for this. We've seen too many Christmases together. I'm very loyal and I would miss it. I would really miss that one, not having it. It's too special. It's up there in my top, probably my top 10. Number 1, Coco Kimaya number 2. I think it's just, I've really fallen hard for it. Pick Me Up number 3. So that's Atelier d'Azores. Next brand I really want to cover here is the Maison Lancome line. Lancome do some great fragrances, but I've always loved a lot of the Maison Lancome lines, so the private line. They're beautiful bottles and a lot of the scents are still very, very popular. I think I've had most of them at some point, but I've only got 3 now. These are the 3 that I will always enjoy now that I've got them. So let's start off with what we got here. So Rose Pioneer. Such a pretty scent, very easy. I don't want to spend too long talking about all of these. It's going to be too long, isn't it? Rose Peony, can't go wrong. It's very shampooy. It's very sweet. It's very playful. It's very easy and approachable. It can be forgetful. It can be a bit boring. It's not very interesting. It's very easy, like a good smelling hair, good smelling shampoo, pretty and pink. You know, I think it's a beautiful scent. But my nose is so spoilt these days that I just think of all the other things that I've got that are more exciting. Now, another one that I have always thought was the most delicious thing on earth is Rose's Berberanza. Dense, syrupy, sweet, opulent, sticky, gooey, gourmand rose I've ever smelt, really. Doesn't work for everybody because it's quite polarizing and there's a strange sort of funky honeyed pistachio thing going on. I'd wear this, you know, to a party or to some sort of Christmas thing, or I don't know, somewhere you're going somewhere, you want it's quite strong, you want to remember the scent, remember the day, and know that you smell good and that people are noticing that you smell good. It's a good syrupy, jammy, really jammy rose with lots of honey and booze, but it's so strong and so heavy that it can give me a headache. It's still in my arsenal for, you know, going out and having that going out rose scent is top pick. So that is one that I'm very fond of as well. So that's Rose's Berberanza. Hang on. Do you know I've got 4? I've just remembered I've got a little bottle. I'll get it in a minute. So the third large bottle is one I recently got hold of, and I was lucky to get this, very lucky because it's a discontinued one. And I'm absolutely head over heels with it. It's because of this new love for iris and almond combinations. I was really fortunate to start chatting to this lovely lady on Instagram, and we've got a very similar taste. We just get on, actually. It's been really fun sharing samples and chatting away to her. She sent me a sample, or actually no, a decant of this. This is Iris Dragé. And I fell head over heels for it, and I think she felt bad because she knew it was hard to get hold of, so she sent me more decants, bless her. And I've just blasted through them. And when a bottle came up on eBay, I mean, you can imagine, I was just like, yeah, just please, just take my money. This is hitting the spot on an everyday basis. It's like a second skin. It's iris and almond. I mean, I can't remember all the notes like I always say, but it's got sweetness. It's like a sugared almond. It's playful. It's a bright, fruity playfulness, but with a sugary almond thing going on. The iris is almost silvery, like a spun sugar iris somehow. There's nothing heavy. It's so easy and it's so comforting while being pretty and playful. I still can't believe I've even got this bottle. I didn't think it was going to happen. So I'm very happy with Iris Dragé. And let me quickly go and grab the other one. But I quickly grab this bottle from upstairs. It's actually a tiny little thing. I think it's even 10 mils. I'm not even sure. So does it count? I don't know. It's Jasmine's Marzipan. I did have a big bottle of this. I very rarely wore it because as pretty as it is, I'm not a huge jasmine lover. And it's quite soapy and heavy. There's an element that really does give me a headache. So it's more of a token of a scent that I think is really beautiful and a reference to, you know, me spraying it just on a very small occasion. Very soapy jasmine with a bit of an almond touch. Not enough almond for my liking, really. But it's pretty, just a bit too heavy. So I can quite easily say that the Iris Dragé is my absolute favourite. I wear it the most. I enjoy it the most. I think it's just so lovely. I just love this little scent. It's just adorable. So that is definitely my favourite. And I think Berberanza number 2 because it's just special and I just enjoy the sugary sweetness of it so much. Number 3, and that one is number 4. So there you go, Maison Lancome. So we've got 3 more brands I'm going to cover. I'm not going to include all my my private Dior's, you know, the Maison Dior, because I've talked about them so much in the past, and honestly this video is going to be so long. I'm going to stick with 3 more, so that's a 6th brand in total, which I think is fine. And Chanel is going to be the next brand I talk about, and I've got, honestly, this has exploded in my collection over the last year. I've got so many now. I'm such a Chanel girl. I'll try and keep them brief. Let's just start with this one. This is my most recent one. This is one I only got, actually, when did it arrive? Last week, I think it arrived last week, and it's a partial from eBay because I'm trying to be careful, not be stupid. But oh my God, I've just suddenly fallen for this scent. This is number 22. I actually got a sample from Claire Smurfy Girlie a little while ago, and initially I wasn't sure. It was very soapy. It's that kind of Chanel number 5, soapy aldehyde, yellow florals in there, classic. Not for me normally, however, something's finally clicked about this DNA and I am really enjoying it. It's very much like number 5. It's heavier, it's richer, not as fresh, to me anyway. And the soapy element is almost like crumbly. It's heavy, it's cold. Something so addictive about it, I don't know what it is. It's really bright and heavy, clean, soapy floral. I love it. So that's number 22. I keep craving it, actually. It's just so nice. And then the next one here we have, Coromandel. I love this scent. So Coromandel, I fell in love with it a bit sort of earlier on in the year. It's mostly patchouli. It's very, very rustic, very medicinal, quite challenging, honestly. I don't wear it as much as I thought I was going to because I realised just how heavy and challenging it is through the beginning of the wear. It's very strong in a medicinal way, but when it settles down and becomes this white chocolate powdery patchouli scent, so opulent and so luxurious smelling, I get addicted to it. But you've got to get through the opening, but it's just fabulous. Next I have Jersey. They're not all from the Les exclusive line, but most of them are. Jersey, a lovely lavender. This is lavender and aldehydes and other things. It's not too herbal, which is what I like here. I don't normally like lavender, but I think the balance of aldehydes in here keep it soft and wearable and clean without it being too strong and sharp in a herbal way. It's lovely just for an evening spray. It's probably nicer for the spring, I think, that one, but I've been wearing that in the evening. It's lovely. Next, we'll go with Comet. Wow, this has been my most worn fragrance of the year. I didn't even like this scent at first. Huge turnaround on this one. I went from thinking it was boring to not being able to get enough of it. I've already blasted through an entire 75ml bottle of it. And this is my newer bottle, my backup, that's already got a huge dent in it. I wear it a lot because it is light, it's fleeting, and I have to really overspray. It is almond and iris and cherry blossom. I get a touch of Missia in this, that sort of violet, that kind of aldehyde violet. I get a touch of that. But the almond is really powdery, and again, it's like almond flour, the actual, we know, like Flour, flour. Chanel elegance, very refined, very finished, but light and fleeting. But there's just something about it. I enjoy it a lot. It's uncomplicated and calming and it's lovely. And then we have, no, cats, what are you doing? So Missia, as just mentioned, I do have Missia. Beautiful violet. Cats, what are you doing? Can you not shut the door, please? Bloody cats. Missia. What is Missia? My brain's gone. What does Missia smell like? Someone tell me. This is violet, leathery violet aldehyde heaven. Okay. It's a bit gothic, a bit moody. It's not particularly the, oh my God. So Missia always reminds me of a purple crayon, like a waxy crayon. It has that purpley violet and the waxy aldehydes. Another lovely one. So that is that one. And then we have another newer one from the Les exclusive line. This is La Pausa, and I blind bought this. I really love this Chanel iris style. It's just beautiful, and it's hitting the spot. And I'm really on this mission to just seek out all these beautiful Les exclusive Chanels and just own them. It still holds that iconic feeling of it being the final thing you put on and just feeling finished and chic. And, you know, that proper perfume, do you know what I mean? Quite a rooty, earthy iris, and not dirty. And not that dry. There's just something rooty, white smelling about it. But I get a hint of something like pickle. Like, not a sharp pickle, but there's something tangy, just slightly coating this rooty iris. Very outdoorsy kind of a scent. I think it gets compared to number 19, although I've never smelt number 19, which surprises me. Earthy, smooth, buttery, but with this slight tang from whatever it is. Really, really love La Pausa. That's really, really hitting the spot as well. So that was a great extra one to get. I can't believe how many Chanels I've got. Jesus. Number 5, Low. Number 5, Low. Pretty, beautiful. You know, it's sitting again within this range that I love. It's that soapy, clean, classic scent. This one is quite twinkly. It's very pure. It's very clean, uncomplicated, fruity, slightly floral. It's a much more twinkly, light, easy wear than Chanel number 5. Love that one. And then Peri Peri from the Les O collection, a very chic rose patchouli. It has a bit of a lemony touch, I think, in here. It's a very fresh lemony rose with a lot of patchouli, but very refined, not a dirty patchouli. It's a lovely refined, slightly rustic patchouli. It's a really good one, that. And last of all, we're going to end on another from the Les O line, and this is Edinburgh. This beauty steals my heart every time I wear it. It stands out from the rest as being more of a rustic, foresty, woody, green, bright, joyous, playful, moss, cypress. It's the freshest element you can get from those greener plant materials, I think. It comes across as something fresh and limey and lively and classy and elegant. Something so beautiful and nostalgic in this scent, and I cannot put my finger on what it is. So that is Edinburgh. Now, I'm not going to rank all of these, okay, because we're going to definitely be here all day. But I'm going to tell you straight away that my favourites out of all of these scents, and I love them all, I really do love them all, Edinburgh, and what it is about this one, I enjoy it so much. It speaks to me of, I don't know, whimsy within the trees and the forests, and I see mosses and I see little tree stumps with ivy growing up, and I see a bright sun on a cold day. I don't know what it is, there's just something magical about this scent. So Edinburgh is my favourite. I just couldn't imagine not having Comet at this point. It's so easy to wear. And also La Pausa. I think I love most of these, you know, almost in unison. I think Jersey, probably one of my least, only because it's just there as a lavender offering. It's the only lavender I've ever smelled that I really enjoyed, and it happens to be Chanel. Number 22 at the moment is the flavour of the month, so I'm really enjoying that one. And the rest of them have all got their different qualities, and they're all just magic. So, but yeah, Edinburgh has my heart, and there's a lot of these that I just think are all really special. So that is my lovely collection of Chanel. So next up, I want to cover Tom Ford. Now, Tom Ford, I have a little collection of here. I have a handful of scents from Tom Ford. So let's start with, what's the first one I'm picking up here? Oh, Noir de Noir. Noir de Noir is probably one of the most special scents from their private blend. They're called private blends. I still think it's the best of these gothic dark rose patchouli styles. I think it's still one of the best ones, because when Tom Ford has that black orchid DNA, that classic of the truffly mushroom and the patchouli, you get that in this. And I feel like this ties up all the best elements of that Tom Ford back in his best days, the best elements of his DNA. So that's why I think this is so special. And I appreciate the elements that I didn't get before. I get more chocolatiness. I get the patchouli just seems better to me somehow. I never got much rose from this, but there's something in it that does seem romantic and red, I suppose. And that is obviously that rose element. I love that truffly mushroom. There's a slightly bitter feel from, I guess, I'm not sure, is there coffee? I think there's oud in here, isn't there? And there's a slight red wine tannin, which is the thing that used to put me off of it. But I don't get that so much either. It's smoothed out. So this is quite a luxurious, gothic, dark, earthy scent, which is beautiful for cold days, or just if you're in an earthy fragrance mood. Beautiful. I didn't want to talk too long. I just have Noir de Noir. Okay, Lost Cherry. This one has been seen and been loved and become an icon for cherry fragrances. Never wear it because I don't think I like cherry scents after all. But it was my first ever fragrance when I got into this. My first niche. Is it niche? It's designer, isn't it? It was my first high-end, naughty, what on earth am I doing spending all this money on a fragrance? And I can't sell it because it's too special. I wouldn't sell it. It's just, it's a little iconic thing for me. So it's beautiful. It is a beautiful cherry. It's a booty cherry. There's a lot of almond in here as well. And I actually just love the bottle as well. I don't think I could part with it. Next we have Vanilla Fatale. I've always loved this one. This is quite a custardy vanilla to me, but there's something dark and woody and a bit dirty, and it's like an antiqued wood with a custard blob that's been dropped on it. Bit smoky, cold smelling, definitely matured vanilla, but very charming and special. And it has that Tom Ford DNA, which is, rather suave. So yeah, that's that one. And then Shanghai Lily, I actually blind bought this partial on eBay. I always wondered about this one. I like the scent of a lily, and I fancied it, so I bought it, and I actually am really pleased with it. It is a lily scent, but it's like if you take away all the sharper, greener, fresh elements of a lily petal, and keep it smooth and muted, and then sort of add a sort of a rubbery, woody background with a soft, subtle, smoky spice. I don't know. It's not a big scent. It's quite modest. It's discontinued now, so I don't want to linger on this one, but I'm glad I've got it. I think it's unusual. It's a nice addition just to these few, or the sample that I've got. The reason that's sitting there and I haven't talked about it yet is because I was filming and I realised I wasn't recording and I'd already talked about it. And anyway, we'll just go on with this one. So Cafe Rose. It's quite a dry, patchouli, potpourri kind of a rose, and a little bit mature leaning, but there's an element in here, once it dries down, I find quite nice, sort of a mallowy sweetness. I sprayed it the other day just to make sure that I didn't want to declutter it, and I actually quite enjoyed it. So I'm on the fence with this one. I do think it's good, and I love the bottle. For now, I think I'll keep hold of it, because I do go through these phases of suddenly not liking things and regretting selling them. So there are my 5 Tom Fords. My favourite Tom Ford, I think it'll be a tie between Noir de Noir and Vanille Fatale. Both beautiful Tom Ford scents. Both have an iconic Tom Ford kind of DNA. I think they're both the best from the private lines, but obviously everyone's got their favourite. I like them equally for different occasions. So they are joint first, those two. And these 3, if I'm honest, in terms of the scent, I wouldn't miss them if they weren't in my collection. I think I'm not bothered. But like I say, that's more for sentimental reasons, and it's iconic for being my first ever expensive sort of gateway scent into doing all of this craziness. This is just a nice discontinued, you know, little gem that I think is interesting and I like having it. And this one, again, I enjoy it on occasion, don't think of it too much, but it's quite a nice rose scent. So it's doing a little job when I fancy it. So there you go. Those are my 5 Tom Fords. So can you guess which brand I'm going to mention last? And obviously a brand that I have more than 3, quite a few members of actually. It's Guerlain. It's Guerlain. There's so many beauties from this house, and they're so refined and so elegant and just good that you kind of love at least one of them, haven't you? And honestly, I feel like I'm going backwards in the sense that I'm starting to enjoy fragrances that were made years ago. A certain style, a certain focus on certain notes. They just make for good perfume, good classic perfume, and they're not pumped with certain molecules these days, too much sugar, all that kind of thing. I have hit a wall with new scents for the most part, and I'm just enjoying going backwards and spending things that have been appreciated for quite a few years. So after that little ramble, obviously that's the reason why I've been wearing so much Chanel as well. So let's start with, what should we start with? Oh, I don't know, let's start with this one. This one was a blind buy actually, it was an expensive blind buy. I was feeling so bougie and reckless. Fève Gourmande. So this is the scent that was created, that was supposed to replace Gourmand Coquine, which is the chocolatey rose boozy scent. This one is quite a pale chocolate. I think of it as more of a milk chocolate that's kind of almost like powder, pale, a creamy lactonic feel in here, as well as there being a sort of light chocolate, dusting of sort of light milky chocolate. But the rose is pretty. It's a pretty scent. It's very pleasant. It's not my favourite. I shouldn't say that yet, should I really? But it's not my favourite. It's a little boring, I've got to be honest. But it's my only B bottle, only special B bottle that I have, and I do love this bottle. It's lovely having one of these. So it's special in the sense that I've got that, and it's special that I had it etched with my nickname, which is Wednesday Child. So there's that going for it. The scent's okay, it's not bad, it's just not my favourite, that's all. Next we have a discontinued one, and it's called Rosa Pop. This is lovely actually. This is very playful, quite a pretty rose violet sweet smell, almost like a lollipop that smells of roses and violet. It's a cute scent, and I do get a compliment when I wear it. I think the violet actually comes out more on me, and it kind of radiates a bit more, so that's quite nice. That's more of a springtime scent, so I do like that one a lot. We've got one of the more newer ones. This is Rose Amira, which was released I think this year actually. I blind bought this one as well. I like it, I do. It's a lovely gothic dark rose. And I say dark, I mean real dark, almost black rose. That's how it smells to me. There's a bitterness to it. It is a rose patchouli. I don't know if there's oud in here or not. I could believe there was something like saffron in here. There's a bitter, smoky element, but it is very dry. And like I said before, with the Cafe Rose, it's got that same sort of Cafe Rose Tom Ford style. This one's a bit more jammy. It's got like a jammy blackberry or blackcurrant fruitiness around the rose. And I love that about this, but there is a real dry medicinal thing happening. So there's that one. We have another one that I actually had personalised here, and that is Angelique Noir. I had that personalised with Tempest Studio. There you go. Obviously a very green vanilla, so I had the green cord, and I love the little marble top there. I don't think I'm that fond of Angelica, but I know it's silly to say because this is an Angelica and vanilla scent, but Angelica's quite strong in the beginning, and there's something kind of sour or too stemmy perhaps, and it stops me from reaching from it. But then I forget how good the dry down is in this whenever I wear it, and that vanilla is so damn good. It's so rich. It's a beautiful, rich, boozy, almost dark vanilla that's seamless as the Angelica sort of transitions into it. So it is a lovely scent. I enjoy wearing it, but I think it's because I sniff the opening and get the top note that I don't always fancy wearing it. So that is Angelique Noir. This is L'Instant Magic. Now, the reason I bought this is because I'd heard it was just like Comet from Chanel. And when I was in between buying Comet, well, I bought this new on eBay. Nothing like Comet. I'm sorry, it's just not. This is more of a baby wipe, powdery baby wipes, but lotion. It's the lotion and the powder. However, as you can see, I've worn it much more than I thought. And I think as you wear it, as it develops, it's a really quite nice, bright, playful scent. It's not just baby wipes. I like that there's a bright, what is that brightness? Very lit up and a little bit playful and very innocent and very enjoyable and clean and uncomplicated, you know. It's a really nice one, so I'm enjoying that more than I thought. As you can see, there's quite a big dent there. So the Instant Magic. One here for me, Elixir Shine Out, which is unfortunately discontinued. All my favourite scents are discontinued. This is French Kiss, and I waited the longest time to get this bottle. If you find a bottle on eBay, it's probably going to be going for some crazy amount of money. It's kind of in the same ballpark as Rose of Pop, but it's more refined. It's much more of a luxurious, elevated scent than that. It's meant to be like a lipstick, you know, a bit of a saucy lipstick scent, but I find it more to be like a lip gloss because it's more playful and more fruity than the just waxy lipstick. It's very pretty. It's a rose violet. I'm assuming there's iris in here. That third element just brings it up a level to being much more luxurious, doesn't it, and classic. So that is French Kiss. I'll try and make a new line here. Next we have Iris Toref. So this is a leathery coffee iris scent, and I really do enjoy this one. So it is irisy. The leather is lovely in this. It's definitely like a brown smelling leather. It's a lovely brown luxurious smelling leather in here. The iris makes it more kind of wistful and a bit powdery, I suppose, but there's something mushroomy about this. I don't know what it is. I always get this like mushroom, like the surface of a mushroom. I find that lovely. But it goes a bit perfumey, which I don't mind. It's just different. I think this is such an interesting scent. I enjoyed this more than I thought I would, which is why I do have a bottle. And I do wear it on occasion. So that's a lovely iris scent. Queer Beluga. It's more of a suede. And then this is my suede-y one. That's my leathery one. Much softer. Suede and vanilla and I don't know what else. I always think I'm smelling the scent of a bluey grey shade of colour, like a smoky grey blue. I don't know what that's all about, because it has a softness and it has a coldness to it. It's very, very nice. It's very light, very luxurious smelling. It becomes like a really powdery, wistfully light, airy vanilla with just a hint of suede, and it's beautiful. So that is a Queer Beluga. Rose Barbare. This is a beautiful rose scent. This is one I don't really wear that often. I find this is more one to reach on occasion. I find it formal. If I'm meeting something important, I don't know. I tend to think of Rose Barbare. It's quite a waxy rose scent. It's quite simple, but it has a real classic, mature way about it. I believe there are aldehydes and honey in here. So it does have that slightly waxed edge. So it's quite finished and refined. And it's waxy but not lipsticky. Can't explain why, it just isn't. But it's lovely. It's a very, very luxurious rose scent. And then last of all, we have Tonka Imperial. Oh, what a beauty. What a beauty. Discontinued. Oh, someone out there is just trying to hurt me, aren't they? Luckily, I have got a backup bottle of this. My goodness, I'd be lost without this. The most beautiful, buttery, powdery Coca-Cola Tonka. It has a bit of a herbal quality. I can't remember. I think there was a pine note in here, which works. It does work. It's that little bit of a bit of interest, you know, it's not just a flat tonka. There's a lovely refined edge of pine and like a hint, it's almost like a boozy refined marzipan that's cold and Christmas appropriate with that little bit of pine, and it's just like, it glides on and it's so luxurious, and it's Tonka Imperial, and I could talk about this all day, but I'm not going to. So that's it. That's my last one from Guerlain. God, how many is that? 7, 8, 9, 10. I didn't count how many Chanels I've got. Is that more than a Chanel? Anyway, they certainly look pretty against the Christmas tree, don't they? What is my favourite? I don't think it's particularly a secret that I have a favourite here. It's Tonka Imperial, isn't it? I can't afford it to be my signature scent, but if I could, it would be. I've always got a decant in my bag. I feel a mess, for whatever reason, spray on Tonka Imperial becomes a classy mess, you know? It's just pure class. It's just so beautiful. My absolute favourite from Guerlain, and my favourite generally. I love Iris Torres, I do. French Kiss is very special, but when I do wear it, I enjoy it. I feel very feminine. I feel like I want to put on some lipstick, like some bold lipstick, and put my hair in curlers or something on it, that kind of 50s glamour. And Rose Barbers, they're all beautiful. It's easy to say what my least favourite is on this occasion, I think. Obviously, Tonka being my favourite. I think least favourite, second to least favourite, third to least? I'm not sure. They're not ones I'm bothered about. Tonka Imperial, that's where it's at. So that's my favourite. That is my Guerlain collection. So I know I've waffled on for far too long. It's going to be such a huge video. I've got a lot of editing to do. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I shall see you all on my next one. Have a lovely Christmas if I don't see you before. Over and out.